What's going on, traders? Welcome back to day 20 of 25 days of trading. We're in the home stretch here. I appreciate you tuning in. If you've seen every single video so far, I really appreciate it. And if you haven't, go back and check out the previous 19 videos. You're going to have a lot of videos to go through, so it might take all day, but go ahead and do it. And I appreciate you tuning back in as always. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future uploads every morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, all the way through Christmas morning. I'll be dropping the next day's video for this 25-day series. But in this one, I want to talk to you about FOMO. Everyone has felt it up once. You're going to feel it again. It's a matter of how often do we feel this FOMO? What do we think of FOMO when we start to feel it? What do our actions tell us to do? Do we listen to our thoughts? Or do we have control over our fear of missing out? I may feel it from time to time, but I don't act on it. That's a big difference of I'm not expecting you to just completely cut it out. Ideally, we want to really slim it down that you rarely ever feel it because you're too professional for that. You're too advanced for that. You don't feel what all those amateurs do. But at the end of the day, you probably still will feel it sometimes. But what do you do when you're talking to yourself like that? Yeah, but let me just get in. Or do you reel yourself in and say, you know what, I actually really want to jump in here, but I know it's not my best plan. Let me hop on off. This isn't where I trade the best. I could always come back later and find something better. But without further ado, let's get into the markups for today's video. In the first lesson of how to overcome this FOMO, there's going to be a couple points in this video. First things first would be you don't have to trade copy, but one of the lessons is trade less equals more profits. That a lot of the fear of missing out is I need to take all of every move. I need to be involved all the time to make a lot of money. But if you realize and reprogram your mind to think, I don't need more trades to make more money. So if I miss this one, it's not the end of the world. Or it's not going to make or break my P&L. I could still have a great week, a great day even, but still a great month if I keep my head down and wait for that next best opportunity. I missed this one. I'm not going to just jump in late now because everyone else is in it and they're already in profit. It's not my play because I know if I take 1 to 2 trades a day, I just went over it before this video. I took 15, what was it, 15? 15 trades this month in 10 days of trading days. It's a little over one a day. I don't take many trades. I have them on a copy or I have multiple accounts, and I'm up 6K in 10 days of trading. You don't need more trades, and then there was a couple days, if you saw yesterday's video, this was poorly managed. So it's not even like a big chunk day that even if you just eliminate those, it's up 6K in 8 days of trading. So almost like 1,000 a day, whatever you want to call it. But that's because I've gotten to the point where I know I don't need all of every move, and I don't even need every move or every trade because to our next point, I have an abundance mindset of there's plenty of opportunities. There's not just one a day, two a day. If you've seen my course on ASFX TV, if you've seen someone else's course, if you've seen someone's anything, the market is always providing opportunities, especially to your plan. Once you refine it and you're confident in it, you could spot it multiple times a day. That even if you miss one, very rarely do you see me freak out on stream that, oh man, I guess I'm done for the day. No, I'll come back later. I'll find something maybe even better. That's another good point now I just thought about it. Even if you miss a move and you're fearing like you're going to miss out, an hour later could present another entry that is even cleaner. It runs even quicker to profit. It took less drawdown, like all these different things that you just never know what's around the corner. That if you just stay patient for it and stay alive for it, you can capitalize on it, hopefully. But like I mentioned, having an abundance mindset, I've really gotten honed in on it this year of just realizing 1 to 2 trades a day is the trick of P&L, but also because there's not gonna be me in 8 trades because that's just way too many trades. I'm then getting outside my rules. So then to the other point of having an abundance mindset, an abundance of what? I don't know what I'm looking for. What am I supposed to be trading? I don't know my best setup, so then I'm just jumping into anything and everything. I'm seeing a breakout here. Let me chase that. We had a really good lesson on that this morning. I don't think I have a markup of it, but it broke out the opening range high first. It doesn't normally break out and run. So I had no problem not jumping into that. A bunch of people got in long. It pulls back and stops them out. Exactly why I didn't take it. But someone sees the excitement of breaking out. Oh, let me get in. It's exciting. I want to go higher here. Could it run? Yes. Does it run sometimes? Yes. But how many times out of 10, out of 100, out of 1,000 times of that setup, what's the win rate? You have no idea. It's probably not probable. That I just know I don't need to chase that move. That's not the only way to make money long today. I could find something better, or I could even make money short later on. Let's see when it presents to my plan. Because I'm very calm that I know what I'm looking for. This isn't presenting to it. Let me wait on that. So if you don't know what you're looking for, that's obviously I'm going to push you towards the Futures 2.0 course because I lay it all out from intro to exit to risk size to what the actual strategy is of what you should be looking for. This is your criteria. This is what it looks like. There's plenty of markups in this course that if you just go through it, you'll get confident in it of knowing what you're trying to identify. That anything that doesn't look like this, of what you've learned in the course, you may want to take it from time to time, think it could make money today. But again, how do you talk to yourself and how do you act on your thoughts? You're not going to jump into it because you realize this is my bread and butter. This is where my best probabilities are. If I could stick to this for long term, consistently, I could see great results. If I spend 10 days a month, trading days a month, following this plan, I could have great results. And then the other 10 days of the month, I go outside that plan, I chase other trades, I over risk. I'm going to get back all those results. I'm going to just be in the hamster wheel of break even, right? So it's not a matter of sometimes following my plan or this plan, your plan. It's all the time or 8 times out of 10 so that we're not always giving back all of everything we just worked for, right? So you need a trading plan. You need a trading strategy so that you know what your best setup looks like. So that way you don't even feel inducement to jump into something that doesn't fit that. Now let's talk about FOMO when it does fit your plan, but maybe you missed it and now you want to jump in late because you feel like you're missing out. Well, the same thing that goes to the abundance of it's going to present again. I may miss this one, but I'll find something again because I've seen how many times this presents through the course, through my own markups, that I'm a huge advocate of doing your own markups and report cards. If you look at my TradeZella here and you just go back to last week, you can see on this day, the one trade I took, 4 other ideas of what could I have done, what did I potentially miss the day prior, my 3 trades, 4 markups of ideas of what I could have taken the day before. What is this, 10 markups? So there was 10 potential trades. Now some of them are like notes and whatever, but I'm going to do 30 a week. That was maybe 30 potential ideas where I could have gotten in. That's a lot of opportunity. So if I miss this one, I think I can still make money this week and find good trades. It's not like it's the end of the world if I miss this one, right? But if you don't know how often it presents, you're not confident that it is going to present a lot in a week, then when you just see that first one, you're going to pounce on it because, oh my God, it's happening. I need to act on it. If I don't take it now, I'm not going to make money this week. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Who the hell said that? Not me. That it's going to present plenty of times. Now, if you just get patient with it and you survive until then, you act on it when it presents. This one we just talked about on Thursday. We took it on stream. This is just a clean example. It's not the biggest pullback, but how many people would chase this first break outside the open range low saying, we're going short. I mean, look how bearish that is. New low a day. This is the one I'm talking about to the inverse of that open range high. I'm not chasing that. If that runs from there, cool, great. I don't care. How many times out of 10 does it break like that and run? Not often. Maybe 4, but how do I know if today's one of those 4? I'd rather be on the side where 6 times, 7 times this normally happens, right? So if you're shorted here, get stopped out, and then it falls, what are you saying to yourself? I don't know how do you defend that. But I'd be patient. It fits my plan now. I get in then. Okay, cool. So I didn't have to chase this and fear this is the only money to be short today. If I don't take it now, it's going to run without me forever. No, it actually gives my pullback that I wanted, and I could capitalize on the move. Okay, cool. What was I fearing? Let's go the next day. Same exact example. Oh my God, look how bearish this looks. This must keep going lower. Let me sell it. So now you're in short. What happens? Stops you out and then falls because you jumped in out of pure fear of, oh my God, this is falling. Let me just try to make some money out of it. But what was the plan? What was your waiting and game planning of if this can happen, then I'm looking to do this, right? So same idea of it does move lower, but I'm not chasing it out of that range. If it could pull back, you could actually get the same sell price as like, let's say over here, but depending on when you get in, this pullback might stop you out. So it's all about timing with it, that I'm not jumping in there, that if it runs from there, cool. This is my plan. I teach you it in Futures 2.0, like I was saying. The second break outside the range after sellers defend it, it's building a lower high. Okay, let's go lower. And again, even the abundance of it, of even if you miss that, pulls back to open range low, again, another lower high, maybe you're selling it here. You catch the next leg lower. Plenty of opportunities. If you miss one, I promise, I don't even know what strategy you're trading. If you're not trading this one, if you're trading a different one, I promise you there's another opportunity. I don't even know what you're trading, but I feel confident saying that you don't need to take every single trade. If you miss one, it's all right. This one's here at the open. Let's just say it's before the open range is broken, but you see 6 candles down at the open. Oh my God, let me go short. This thing's falling. Well, it was falling. Yes, I agree with you. Yes, it was. But where is my trading plan telling me to get in? Because now I'm short. My stop loss gets hit. and then actually, oh my God, maybe now I'm going long because I was just wrong on the short, and you're fearful that it's going to rip higher now without you. So, whoa, what part of the trading plan are we talking about? What are we reverting to? Is there a plan? Or this one, it's the same thing. Pull back. Sellers defended here. We get back below all VWAPs. Now I'm going lower. Abundance presents all the time. Simple. I don't need to chase price. The price is going to come to me when it presents these pullbacks. Another beautiful one. Could I short it here on the breakout and it does go lower? I could maybe close it here for full profit, or you could. Yeah, you could. But I don't certainly need to jump in at this late and hope it keeps on sliding. And like I've said, if it keeps on sliding, great. Cool. I hope you all make plenty of money. If you're in that short, let's capitalize on it. But if I'm not in it, I'm fine, because many times it will pull back like this. Sellers defend that New York, create the lower high here. Now let's go lower again. It gives me another opportunity. I don't need to jump in here at a lower price of like 08 if I could pull back and sell it at 16. I want a higher price. I don't need to chase this lower, right? And another example would be, even if this does work out and moves down to here, pull back, I could always sell it again lower after the next lower high has been formed. I don't want to chase it at a lower low. That's just not my trading. I don't ever want to chase a lower low and ask for new lows to keep on being made. I'm shorting it here. Let's just trade it back to where we already were today. Let's trade it back to the current low. You know what I mean? So I'm taking it to where price has already told me it can go. That's like one more here. Now for a long, this was just a drifting higher, but like it's a steady rainbow higher, whatever you want to call this. That if you just jump in up here for whatever reason, or I don't know, pulls back to New York, open range high, all-time high view up, break of high day view up. You can long it even at a lower price, less drawdown, because maybe you survive this drawdown. Maybe you do. I don't know. But let's say you do survive it. But you're buying it here with a stop loss down here. Okay, you do survive, but what are the risks of you sitting in drawdown for 40 minutes, of you mismanaging it and getting emotional and adding in and moving stops and doing all these different things? Or if you wait for your plan to present and you just act on the entry signal of a break of high day, look how less stressful it is. It's pure profit right when you get in. Very hard to mismanage that. So, not having fear. I just showed you pretty much those all look very, very similar for a reason. Because it's repeatable, it's consistent. It's all taught here in Futures 2.0 on ASFX TV. And then if we're on this website with the course, you go to the live stream tab up top, you'll see me take these trades live at the open with Austin, with James. Zach has his Kill Zone stream. And if you're watching this in December, I know we're winding down here, but if you use code XMIS, you can get 25% off for your first month. So you get access to these two courses where I'll teach you what setup to take, and you can watch me trade them live on stream. But you just see me take trades like this. I mean, this one was literally Thursday, December 12th, as I'm filming this 5 days after, because it presents all the time. I don't need to chase moves, or even just think about this last thing of like chasing it down here. Like, what if I just sold it there because of how bearish it looked at the time? But what's the reasoning for shorting it other than, well, it's 5 candles down. It looks pretty bearish to me. What's the plan? What's the rules? What's the criteria that is met that says more times than not, this continues lower with a price here and a stop loss here? If you can't answer that question, you should not be in this short, because then you just jump in randomly short, missing the move, and it actually comes back higher. So just wait for your plan. I'll give you my plan in the futures course, like I said. You'll see how much it presents. You'll have an abundance mindset of, I don't need to chase one move or two moves here. I could wait an hour and find a good trade. I can come back tomorrow and find two great trades. And even the last thing of, I have the plan. I wait for my trades. That even if I just stack like one or two a day, one a day, every day, I could have a great month because I have multiple accounts. I have healthy risk. I'm on a copier. I could put up a 10K month without over trading, taking every move, taking all of every move, holding it forever, right? That less is more, repeatable, consistent, simple. What am I fearing? What am I fearing? There's so many moves, there's so many trades, there's so many days in the year. Why am I fearful of this one move going 12 points without me? Is it your ego that you need to be in it because you called it? Oh, I knew that was going to happen. I need to be in this. No. Let the trades come to you. Keep it stress-free. It's going to be healthier on your mental if you could just let the trades come to you. Follow a simple plan, not having to overtrade. Think about every trade. Always in the market. Just sit back. No more fear in 2025. We're going to be professional and have an abundance mindset. All right? But I appreciate you all. Like I said, make sure you subscribe. If you like it, let me know down below. Leave a comment. share it. Make sure you're subscribed every morning at 11 a.m. I'll drop the next day's video. But other than that, I really hope you guys stop having FOMO. For anyone that is still dealing with it, like I said, you're going to have to deal with it sometimes. But what do you do when you think about it? Do you act on it? Or do you maybe act on it by getting off the desk or writing it down and getting off the desk, right? But we'll keep on working on it on ASFX TV. We'll keep doing markups, keep doing good DRCs, reflect on it. You'll get better at it day in and day out. The more markups you do, the more studying you do, the more streams you watch, and we'll have a great, great year. But I appreciate you all. I'll see you guys on the desk tomorrow morning.